Hello and welcome to Geeks Around, discusses Agent Carter, Episode 3, Time and Tide. This was an episode, I don't know the descriptor of it, I don't know if we can use it. Interesting. Interesting wouldn't be the word to use. Let me see, fun, no, fun wouldn't be a good word to use. I don't know. What one word would you use to describe it? My name is Matt, I'm your host. Lou, what is the one word that you would use to describe this episode?
Sucked.
All right. Isaiah, one word.
Yawn.
And Charles?
Eh.
Wait. Is your response? You are the one person who said that they kind of enjoyed it.
I liked it. I did like the episode, but I mean, to describe the episode in one word, I can't really do. Mostly because I woke up from a nap about maybe 30 seconds ago, so I'm a little disoriented. And,
Fuck you, Isaiah. Fuck you.
Yeah, but, but no, this episode was, it was a filler, is what it was. It was a filler.
Golly, filler out with the third episode of the season.
I know, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it's supposed to be an 8-episode thing, I mean, the fact that we have a filler this early is a little ridiculous. I mean, considering that it's supposed to be a miniseries. I mean, why would you do a filler? I'm not judging what you said, Charles. I'm just saying in general. Why would you do a filler episode in an 8-series miniseries when you could just make it a 7-episode miniseries? I find that kind of ridiculous. Since you are the person who liked it, and I as you are just yawning, what did you like about the episode?
I did like the backstory for Jarvis, where we learn like how he was basically kicked out of the military for treason, but yet those charges of treason were almost immediately dropped after they were filed. How they also mentioned how he met his wife Anna, which I thought was very cool. I don't know, I think it was really good for information on Jarvis, finding out who he is, and also the stuff that we're getting like from the SSR agents, especially the guy who likes to be nice to you when he interrogates you until he likes to punch you in the face with his fists. I don't know, but
as opposed to his elbow.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. But I don't know, just even though the whole Jarvis thing it was only a small section of the episode, it felt like it was the biggest part of the episode. That even though it was small, it was probably the most detailed part of the episode with the most information. Everything else, like I said, was filler, but Jarvis's stuff was still somewhat filler, but it was more interesting than everything else that was going on.
Okay, that's good. That is Charles playing.
I can agree with that.
Is an unfamiliar role, and he's looking at the good side of a meh episode, which is not something Charles does a whole lot.
The whole best part of that whole Jarvis thing is when he pretended to have a New York accent on the phone.
That was pretty funny. Yeah. Isaiah, I know that. See, that's just it. Is my opinion of this episode was that there were a couple okay parts to it. There were a couple even decent parts to it. As far as I'm concerned, they all involved Lindsay Frenica, who was I don't even know her character's name, but like
the waitress
friend. Yeah, the waitress.
Yeah.
But there weren't any bad parts of it either. There weren't really any bad parts, but there were no real good parts. They were just okay parts. Did you see any good parts in this episode? Something that made you happy to be watching the episode? Something you enjoyed in the episode?
Which one?
Episode 3, Time and Tide. You know what?
Look at that. He's not prepared to answer your very complex question. Wow.
What did you like, Isaiah?
I like the ending.
He's talking about the credits. As soon as the credits started rolling.
No. That one guard who knew the identity of Carter and that one assassin killed him and the SSR agents. So it was like,
Okay,
hey,
I don't think it was a guy.
hey,
Oh, you know
guys.
what? You know what? I had that same thought, Lou. I had that same thought.
If it was a guy,
very
it was
svelte
shaped
guy.
like a very petite woman.
Yeah, yeah. It was a very thin waist, and it was larger hips than it was waist. And
Hey, could be both.
The only
this
the
is
only
in
thing
late 1940s, early 1950s. You don't have people who are both.
Hey,
it,
it's Russia. Anything can happen.
it ain't Russia.
No,
Not in
it's not Russia, dude. I mean, Leviathan may be affiliated with Russia, but at this current point in the game, it's not fucking Russia.
Hey, I can dream, okay? I can dream.
This show is based in New York.
Exactly.
Again, I can dream, thank you.
Yeah, folks, don't mind him. I mean, I am as disoriented as fuck because, like I said, I took a nap earlier, and even being as disoriented as I am, I still think that Isaiah Logic is fucked up.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
The only thing
right,
missing
all right.
from that whole assassination scene was the blood.
Well,
I have a question for you, Lou. A question for
Go
you.
ahead.
We're gonna get to if we found anything actually bad about this episode in just a little bit. But did you find anything actually good on the scale of 1 to 10? Did you see anything that was 7 or above?
Okay, to agree with Charles, the Jarvis backstory was interesting, and the assassination was interesting. Everything else was they could have just did without.
well, the assassination stuff. I assume you're talking about what happened right at the end after they took the stuff off the boat, and then that asshole SSR agent got bumped in the back of the back bumper of the car, and then he killed the two of them.
I found,
Just
to your point,
it-
what you're
it's
talking about.
It's just I did not think that was a good or a bad part of the entire episode. I just thought, oh look, he got killed. Oh look, that guy got killed too. Whatever.
I found that more interesting than watching Peggy Carter try to kick the shit out of some big muscle-bound freak.
Okay, all right, you know what? Thank you for reminding me about that because I am still a little loopy. But yes, I loved that fight scene. I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome. And I gotta say,
What was the love about it? She
I
got hit with a goddamn pipe and took it like she was Captain America. Dude, I don't care how strong you are not taking a pipe to the back, to the side, when a man who is about, I'm going to say he was a good 120 pounds heavier than her, with brute force.
Yes, I know. I mean, I gotta say,
He practically choke slammed her ass on the crate.
Yeah, I just gotta say that during that fight scene, seeing Haley Atwell, aka Peggy Carter, kicking the crap out of that guy, I gotta say she was actually pretty kind of hot in that fight scene. I mean, I don't even really think that Haley Atwell is that attractive. No offense to her, it's just in that fight scene I was like, wow, she's actually kind of hot now.
Oh wow!
Can
Now
I
you're
just
taking
say
it.
that a lot of people on the internet have been comparing her to the World War II version of the Black Widow, blah blah blah. And I think that's complete. I think that's complete bullshit. There are a lot of people who are saying that, and that's just it. Is especially, and this is what brought it up is the fighting style. The fighting style that she was using, which was much more hand-to-hand, was much more Captain America than it was Black Widow. Black Widow is flips and kicks and I'm going
She does
to
great tricks too.
I'm gonna do a backflip so I can then follow it up with a front flip that kicks you in the face, and that's what Black Widow does. Like Agent Carter has none of that shit.
No.
Like she is like in your face. She is yeah. She's got a little bit of judo. She's got a little bit of taekwondo. I mean
her fighting style is closer to like a mix between boxing and kickboxing, possibly.
So it's just like Captain America. It's judo and boxing put together.
Exactly.
While Black Widow is actually an assortment of martial arts training, which is probably what she has learned due to her intelligence background.
Yeah.
And
the whole fighting style, I mean, I could see maybe in like a little backstory she was trained by Captain America when they had a little bit of free time on the side. I could buy all that, but frankly, I don't care how strong you are. When someone outweighs you by 120 pounds, maybe a little bit more, you are not getting up after getting wailed on with a fucking pipe.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I gotta say, at the end of that fight scene where the guy was actually beating down on Jarvis, which I gotta say, I mean, it's like, oh, come on, you're trying to help your friend. I mean, you do realize that you may be a guy, but this guy's also bigger than you, so you're also gonna get your ass kicked. But no. Then Carter walked up and used this device. I don't remember what they called it, but it was the device.
It was a stun gun.
It was supposed to be like a massage type thing, only it contracts the muscles to the point where the muscles tighten so much that it actually breaks your own arm. I was actually expecting to hear a crunch in that scene, and I didn't hear shit.
It made a little bit of sound.
But you saw it. Like, his hand just went, eek. Like,
oh, man. I mean, if I had heard a crunch, I'd be like, ooh.
For that part there, they needed to go back to episode 1 and 2 and get the big pork loin, the lobster, the glass. And they would have had all the crunching you needed.
Yes, absolutely. So my favorite scene of it was actually a quote, and I know that this sounds kind of cheesy, but it was a quote by one of the random people, and that is, she's never going to go from a red, white, and blue shield to an aluminum crutch or an aluminum leg or something like that. That was probably my favorite part because, of course, that tells me that they totally end up together.
Yeah, pretty much. It was obvious.
Well, I got to admit, and I'm kind of ashamed to admit it, when the guy that died who mentioned that to, what is it, Salsa or Sousa, I think is his name.
That just it is all of these characters, all of these SSR characters, every single one except him, and he is by association. All of them are disposable. That's what this show needs. This show needs Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We need characters that we actually care about. We need more characters that are involved in the story. And that would make this show fucking good, but it's not.
They're going to hold off on that until episode 8, probably within the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sure they can do character development on 5 or 6 characters all in one episode.
Dude, where are the Howling Commandos?
Yeah, give me those.
That's just it, is I don't think the Howling Commandos actually answer to the SSR. Hopefully they will answer to S.H.I.E.L.D. at a later date.
No,
bring them to be some of the.
I never thought. Well,
I watched that shit.
If you remember that episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. where it actually shows like the obelisk and how like Dr. Reinhardt had actually first found it, and then Peggy and the Howling Commander showed up. And then when they started putting all the little stamps on the crates to have the stuff transported, it was SSR crates. So I think that the Howling Commandos are in some way involved with the SSR.
Well, maybe not yet.
Or they could have been working with Peggy as a favor, or just working for Peggy, and that's it.
Yeah, because of what they went through with Captain America during the war. Yeah.
Right. But again, I want to see those guys. Where are they at? Where are they at? They're superheroes too. Where are they at?
They're not superheroes.
We need to make this fucking show about more than just one person, and we're only 1.5 people, because that's just it. It's about Agent Carter
and the waitress,
kind of sorta Jarvis on the side. Like that's it.
Okay, well, if you're gonna go like that, the show's about the waitress, Jarvis, and Peggy.
Really, it's about the waitress. Is the waitress dating anyone? Has she ever dated anyone? We don't know. What did she do before she was a waitress? What did she do before she was a waitress? We don't fucking know.
I think
what is her hopes and her dreams? We don't fucking know. The waitress is still background that we hope becomes foreground, but she's still background.
Yes, and of course to agree with Matt, which shocker, I'm agreeing with Matt. Oh God.
Yeah. It's so strange when you agree with the person who actually brings logic to the table.
Anywho, I think that Matt's theory about who that waitress will become is actually pretty damn accurate. It's like a 99% possibility that it's going to play out like that. Is where
she's going to become an agent.
Yes, where and near the end of the whole Agent Carter thing, Agent Carter will probably be made director of S.H.I.E.L.D., the first director possibly. She's probably gonna walk into the diner, and then the woman's gonna look at her and smile and say, "Hey, what's going on, English?" And then and then
tell me about my day.
yeah, and then of course we see Carter sit at the table, and then she looks at the waitress, smiles, and then it cuts to credits, and that's it.
Oh my God.
No, I really want it to end just like I said it. I think that there needs to be an implication that she's going to start recruiting people, and then she goes into the diner and goes, let me tell you about my day, like my real day.
Yeah.
And that's how we.
And that's how she recruits her. Okay.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
Because technically the whole stuff that she does is classified that the American people aren't allowed to know it.
Right.
So if she's telling the waitress what's going on, that's one of two things. She either intends to kill her afterwards, or she intends on recruiting her, which is the more likely scenario.
It's like Men in Black. It's like Men in Black.
Oh, please don't bring that up.
It has nothing to do with Men in Black, so shut the fuck up.
Are you sure about that? Are you
All
sure?
right. I have a question across the panel. We've all kind of agreed that the episode was meh with a couple good parts. Mm-hmm. Charles being higher on the good parts than the rest of us. Were there any bad parts? I honestly can't think of a single bad part. Other than maybe the fight, Lou. And that's a concession I'm going to give you.
Well, to answer the question, there wasn't that many parts in the episode. There wasn't any parts in the episode that annoyed me to the point where I'm going like, "Oh, come on!" It's not like one of those situations where I just gotta like tilt my head, going like, "Really? You really just did that?" Yeah, that didn't happen. But I will say that the scene where they were interrogating Jarvis, and then Carter tried to get Jarvis out of there, and then her boss started screaming at her. I understand that that's how women were treated back then, but that whole scene, I wanted to kick that guy in the balls if he had any.
I just have to say this, and I mean this, is how generally females were treated back then, but in that specific situation, I don't think the fact that she was a female had anything to do with it. She spoiled a bus for him. She ended up basically breaking a guy out right in front of their faces. The fact that she had a vagina had nothing to do with it.
Yep,
Okay, well,
I have to agree there.
beyond that, there weren't any other really parts in the episode that kind of gave me a little thing. Yeah.
They could have did without the whole throwing the one woman out of the housing home.
Yeah, that was stupid too.
That was like, really? Do we really need to know that she snuck her boyfriend in above the first floor? Whoop-de
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
That woman.
There was a point to that. There was a point to that, and apparently I think I'm the only one who got it. The blonde who replaced her, the one who's fucking 5'10", 5'11", the one who's taller than everyone in there that was being introduced to them.
Yeah.
She's a fucking spy. She's there for a reason.
Yeah, she gave me the Black Widow.
Oh, okay.
She's not the Black Widow. The person who replaces that woman is there. It has been placed there to watch Peggy Carter. That is my theory.
Oh, she could be part of the Leviathan crew.
That's my theory. I'm sticking to it from now until.
Because we're not going to see Hydra. We're not going to see Hydra in Agent Carter because Hydra is currently in hiding, and they
Except we know we see Hydra, and we don't know that we're going to see him in Agent Carter, but we know that Hydra isn't in that much of a hiding because we see Hydra and Peggy Carter interacting in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes, but that's because those are agents of Hydra that have actually been already captured. I'm talking about Hydra agents that are currently out in the open, or kind of like just they're not incarcerated, and they are working from behind the scenes, kind of like working within S.H.I.E.L.D. for all these decades.
Those specific agents, have not been captured yet.
What about that one guy, that scientist from Red Skull? What was his name?
I know what you're talking about.
Where's that mofo at?
We're not going to see him again. We're not.
I don't think we're going to either, because that's the one that's the one that was at the end of the Avengers movie, right?
No, that was Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
Oh, Winter Soldier. I'm sorry.
Where we originally thought that it was MODOK, but then we were like, yeah, that's not MODOK. And no, it's Armin Zola, and he was actually recruited, and then he transferred his brain into a computer mainframe because his body was dying.
TV guy.
But no, we're not going to see him in Agent Carter. We're not.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think so either.
It's not going to happen.
point then. Oh, bullshit.
Well, 'cause
Okay.
it could be the fact that they don't want to bring Hydra into this. I could see your point from last
Their
week saying
their focus is,
Leviathan.
yeah, their focus is Leviathan. Which,
Right.
from your words, Isaiah, Leviathan is the Russian equivalent of Hydra.
How dare you remember what he said a full week ago? That was a week ago. How are you going to hold him up to that?
Because I was right though, man. Because I'm right though.
Well, technically, you're not. I mean, at this point in the show, Leviathan being Russians and everything is still just a theory. I mean, we don't know if it is what we say it is.
Come on, man.
I mean,
come
hell,
on.
Look, you know me. You know
They
that.
could be Chinese.
Yeah,
They could be fucking
Isaiah,
Chinese.
you know me. You know that I've been a bit of a purist when it comes to most of these comic book movies. But
Oh
yet,
yeah, I know.
with a
The
lot-
comic book movies have not been faithful to you, Charles.
No,
You've
they
been a
haven't.
purist. They have not been a purist for you, so you have the right to be skeptical.
Bitchin' mode.
Yes, I don't. I mean, even though you are saying that that's who it is, that it's basically the Russian equivalent of Hydra. From what my experience is about always saying like, no, it should be like this, and then they always change it on me. I'm like, yeah, we don't know what this is yet. We really don't.
Thank you, Charles, for making some sense.
Yeah.
That may be a true point, however.
All right. So
There is no, however, I'm right, you're wrong. Shut up.
Stop hating on me because you know it's a good
That's not
Leviathan.
what I
It's
said,
a
Charles.
Leviathan.
That's not what I
It's a
said.
Leviathan, homie.
I
It's
said
a
that you
Leviathan.
have the potential of being right. There's a difference. Now, just very quickly, what Deano had mentioned to us, because I figured we didn't have a whole lot to talk about on this episode, is that if we can start equating this stuff to the overall Marvel Cinematic Universe, that would be great for our wild speculations. So if we have wild speculations that connects Agent Carter to the MCU, that would be awesome. Does anyone have anything that does that?
Well, Agent Carter is in the MCU, so I don't really.
I
see
realize that, but what has already happened? What has already happened? Like, in other words, for example, like, are we going to end up seeing like that stun gun again? Maybe used for someone else? Do we have wild speculation that maybe fucking Fitz is going to be like, oh, hey, look what I got from Agent Carter, and I'm
I see what you're saying.
Any other tie-in between Agent Carter and MCU other than the obvious?
I can see what you're doing. Well, basically, what you're saying is that you're saying that certain bits of tech that were introduced in Agent Carter might make a comeback.
Or storyline. Anything.
Or storyline.
Well, I think Leviathan might come back.
The who now?
Okay. Leviathan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He said it Levitamin, but I understood what he meant.
Maybe he can come back.
I don't. Well, no, the thing is that with Agent Carter, the primary villain is Leviathan, and at this point we don't know who it is. But however, in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the primary villain is currently Hydra. So I think that I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has enough villains on their hands than to deal with a whole new enemy that hasn't been seen for decades. So yeah, they probably won't bring in Leviathan until the whole Hydra threat has been taken care of.
Are you sure about that? Because look at the Hydra now. It's kind of broken.
I kind of see Hydra like as the S.H.I.E.L.D. bad guy, like you see Lex Luthor as Superman's bad guy. That is your main bad guy. Anything you deal with that has nothing to do with Lex Luthor probably has to do with Lex Luthor. So I could see Hydra bringing about Leviathan and basically using them as a tool to accomplish their goals.
Or both ways, really, because Leviathan uses them as tools as well. So they know Hydra very well.
But that's what happened in the comics.
Isaiah, you're a tool.
We don't know if that's how it's going to play out in the show, Isaiah. We just need to sit back with a bag of popcorn and a soda pop and just enjoy the show.
That's what wild speculation is about, though. I mean, if they're introducing Leviathan now, I could see maybe at the end of this season, if not the beginning of next season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we see references to Leviathan again. If maybe even more than references to where Hydra is actually manipulating Leviathan. Remember that when at the beginning of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like, Hydra wasn't the bad guy. That was fucking Rising Tide in the first couple episodes. And then you ended up having some other organization whose name I'm forgetting right now. But you end up having another organization. What's that?
Centipede.
Thank you. Centipede was the bad guy, and then we finally get Hydra. So I think, and all of them, well, maybe not Rising Tide, but Centipede. Basically, that was all being manipulated by Hydra. We just didn't know it.
Right.
So
I feel next season's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to tie more into Civil War, leading into that.
Yeah. Or Ultron.
No, Ultron is going to be this year. We'll get that
Yeah, but-
tie-in this year, and we're going to get a lot more tie-in to Civil War. You have to build it up more since it comes out next year.
Yeah, but
We're gonna build more.
in regards to connect, I know we're going into Agents of Shield territory.
no, that's
but,
good. That's the point.
But no, just with the second half of Agents of
Yes, what?
Shield, I think that probably at most this will be mentioned maybe at most only once. PIM Technologies. It'll be a
I hope
reference.
so.
It will be a reference to Ant-Man to be able to connect. To be able to connect Ant-Man to the MCU. I don't think anybody's going to be introduced. I don't think any character from Ant-Man is going to show up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah,
I think the only thing that's going to show up is the actual logo, PIM Technologies, and they're going to
Oh,
mention the name PIM Technologies.
I don't
That's
agree
it.
at all. I don't agree at all. The reason being is because of the fact that I've been doing a little research on Ant-Man. I've been doing a lot of research on Ant-Man lately, and I've realized that PIM particles, which are very poorly named considering they existed long before fucking Hank Pym, I think that PIM particles are going to be a kind of, maybe not a major thing in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but they're definitely going to be introduced, and they are definitely going to have to be dealt with. The reason being is because, remember that PIM particles were part of, not only were part of Ultron, were not only part of Ant-Man and Giant Man and blah, 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 but basically PIM particles created a lot of different shit. It doesn't just change size, but it also changes strength, it also changes density, hence the Vision. The Vision is a great example of that. The Vision was created to where he could pass through things because of PIM particles. PIM particles isn't just a shape-changing thing. So they are definitely going to introduce that and make it to where they have to deal with that shit.
To Charles's point,
Yep.
I could see that being introduced in Agent Carter, because remember the backstory of PIM Industries is going to be featured with Agent Carter in the movie. So you could do a little bit in the show leading up to that movie.
I hope that is the case. I don't see it being the case, though, only because of the fact that they only have 8 episodes, and yet they're still throwing it away on episodes.
Like
this
Carlos
one.
said, we could just see a logo.
Oh,
quick
okay,
logo
that's
saying
true.
PIM Industries, blah, blah, blah.
That is
All right.
I can see that, yes. But actually dealing with it, I think that
Yeah, they're not going to deal with it. They'll tackle all that in the movie. But just seeing the logo
Right.
in Agent Carter sets up her part in that movie perfectly. And how he knows Howard Stark. Who knows? Hank Pym could be hiding out Howard Stark right now.
That would be awesome. That
They
Howard
could play
Stark
that
is hiding
angle.
with Hank
Well,
Pym right now.
we would see a young version of Hank Pym.
That would be kind of awesome, yeah.
That
That'd
would
be
be-
really
I don't
young.
think Hank Pym is that old.
He's not. As I think about it, he's not. But you know what? Maybe the PIM particles delayed his aging. Maybe he's 30 now, and the more he uses the PIM particles, the slower he ages. Maybe he's 90 in the current storyline. We don't fucking know.
Or he could be in his early 20s like Howard Stark looks like, a young genius, and they could be working together. Because that's the plan in the movie, that they all know each other.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's a little suspicious, and that has nothing to do with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Agent Carter. But really, Howard Stark is shown over a 40-year period of time, and he doesn't change but like 15 years in that period of time. Like he only ages like 15 years in that time.
Yeah, but
And that's over a long ass period of time.
So are you saying that maybe it's a possibility that Hank Pym might be a founding member of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Well, he is one of the founding members of Avengers.
He is one of the founding members of the original Avengers
In the comics,
Original.
in the comics.
not the MCU.
Also, it's going to be said that he's one of the founding members of the Avengers in the movies.
Hmm.
Well, no, Scott. Ooh. Where does it say that? I need to see that.
I read it somewhere. I don't remember exactly where.
Hank Pym?
It's a rumor, so we could take it with a grain of salt.
Are we talking Hank Pym Ant-Man, or are we talking Scott Lang?
Hank Pym.
Ant-Man?
Hank Pym. Hank Pym.
Okay.
Nothing to do with Scott Lang.
He was one of the original founding members of the Avengers.
Yeah.
In the movies.
In the movie.
So they're saying that, and I'm not denying it because they can do this shit. It's comic books. There are no rules. So this series of Avengers is the second set of Avengers.
So, because from the trailer, from the Ant-Man trailer, you remember he's talking to Scott Lang and he says, "I need you to become the Ant-Man," and he mentioned it in the sense to where Ant-Man had existed before. So, so maybe there was maybe this current version of the Avengers Initiative wasn't Shield's first attempt at the Avengers Initiative. That they tried it once before, and Hank Pym was one of the original members.
Now, okay, so 1 week ago today, we all laughed at a certain theory that a certain young black male brought up. I'm not going to say that he is right. I'm going to say that it is possible that he is right, which is something I would not have said a week ago. I don't think he's actually here. I think he's been kicked out of the chat, so I'm okay with saying it. But a certain black male had mentioned that there might be another incarnation of the Avengers that happens after Iron Man and Captain America, and that incarnation in the movies. And a lot of the current rumors have been going in that direction, that maybe there is going to be a young Avengers that holds the line in the third phase, in the third Avengers movie. That there's going to be another set, that all the Avengers fucking disappear, and they're going to be holding the line until they come back. So, does anyone have any thoughts on that except Isaiah? Isaiah, you don't get a vote.
I don't think they'll disappear. They might retire.
That's just it.
I think.
Go on.
I don't think all of them are going to retire. I think Captain America is going to try to stay, but something's going to happen to him. I'm going to say it right now because this is stuff that I've heard. I think very possible that Captain America might end up getting killed in Part 1 of Infinity War. And he's gonna maybe the enemy gets the upper hand and he stays behind to try to help his friend escape, and he ends up sacrificing himself to save others.
I disagree.
In the comics,
I thoroughly disagree. I think he's dying in Avengers 2.
What, you think he's going to die in Age of Ultron?
At all. I think he's just going to pass the shield on to Bucky Barnes.
At this point, I would much rather have him pass the shield on to Falcon.
Yeah,
well, they're going to go to Bucky because Bucky signed on for 9 movies.
Oh, are you kidding me?
He was signed on for 9.
Now help me here. I'm going to need Isaiah's help on this because I know he knows it really well. Lou, you might need it. You might know it a little bit. So help me remember here. Captain America hands the shield off to Bucky.
Yes.
And then Bucky ends up handing it back.
Cool.
He ends up handing it to Black Falcon.
Falcon
ends up handing it back. Captain America dies. And then it goes to Bucky.
I think it went back to Falcon.
Oh, maybe it went back to Falcon. You might be right. How many fucking times is this guy going to give his shield away?
Actually, he kind of messed that up.
Seriously, it happened like 6 times. Am I wrong with the number 6?
No, you're not wrong. You're wrong because...
I'm wrong. I'm sorry. It might only be 5.
Let's say 4.
Okay.
It doesn't matter how many times he just passes the shield back and forth. It went back and forth.
The motherfucker does not want to be Captain America anymore, and he hasn't wanted to be for like 20 years.
Because he'll be trying to kill him, try to jump him, or pretty much kill him, and kill him.
See, this is the reverse version of with great power comes great responsibility.
No, that's right. That's right. Because this motherfucker is retired more times than Spider-Man has, and fucking Spider-Man retires every fucking 5 years.
True. We got there with Captain America. There's some real big time terrorists of the world. So yeah,
The first time Spider-Man wanted to retire, and I mean this seriously, he was still in college.
Yeah, he wanted to retire in college. Yeah.
Captain America wants to retire more often than he does.
I mean, I could see Charles's point, but if Marvel is smart, they might not kill Chris Evans off. They might just let him walk, let him do his things for a few years, and then say, hey, do you want to come back and reintroduce
No. Okay. So I'm going to give credence to Latino Review. I'm sure all of you have seen me railing against people quoting Latino Review as
I think a lot of these people are jumping the gun too quickly.
Yes, exactly. Latino Review posts these things as rumors. Other people, legitimate people, like The Mirror, which is a legitimate fucking UK newspaper, pissed me off. They reported it as if it were actual news and not a rumor. Is these people are reporting these rumors as if they're true. I have a problem with Latino Review posting these things even as rumor because they know people post them as news, but that's neither here nor there. However, some of the things that they've said would be amazing. So here is my wild speculation based on Latino Review. And that is Captain America dies. Iron Man disappears completely. Thor is thrown in jail. Hulk goes to space. The Hulk going to space is bullshit.
Yeah.
And completely and totally bullshit. There is no doubt in my mind on that, but that's what Latino Review is saying. World War Hulk happens during that time. While they are gone, then we have Spider-Man, we have Black Panther, we have still Black Widow sticks around, Hawkeye sticks around. Basically, we have all these younger superheroes who show up, Ant-Man, and they all end up holding the line for the Avengers. They are the new Avengers, and they hold the line until Infinity War Part 2, in which through hook or crook, whether resurrection, whether being brought back from whatever, all the old Avengers end up coming back. So Captain America disappears for 2 years in real time, but of course that's only like 6 months in movie time. Iron Man comes out of retirement again, etc. Like they all come back and they all like goes to.
Where do you think Thor's going to go to jail? I mean, is it going to be like Earth jail or Asgard jail?
It would have to be Asgard or similar jail.
Because I understand that technically, at the end of Thor: The Dark World, Loki has been Odin is dead, and Loki is pretending to be Odin.
First off, Odin is not dead. But yes, I understand what you're saying.
Well, no. I think they came out and said that Odin is dead.
Odin is dead like Deadpool is dead. Deadpool can't die. Odin can't die.
I mean, hell, in Thor: The Dark World, Odin himself said it, saying that we are not gods. We're born, we live, we die.
Yeah, but he's not dead. He's in prison somewhere.
No, I think that here's my thought on the matter, and this is completely has nothing to do with your point, and I apologize for that, Charles. But my thought is that Odin, being Odin, he has been killed, but that does not mean that he cannot be brought back. Just like every other comic book character out there, I'm pretty sure.
I don't even know if Anthony Hopkins wants to come back.
I doubt he does.
Check.
But I think at the very least, I think at the very worst, he's just an Odin sleep. That's it. I think he's in fucking Odin.
What the hell causes Odin sleep anyway? What the hell causes Odin sleep anyway?
Odin goes to sleep every fucking like once a decade, and when he does, he goes to sleep for a long fucking time, and that however long a period of time that is. Changes from Odin sleep to Odin sleep, but it does happen on occasion.
Well, to one of your points, me and Isaiah talked about this last night. Instead of making it Planet Hulk movie, they could kind of make it a series on Netflix for just one season, because they're going to notice when he goes into that super Hulk rage in Wakanda fighting Iron Man, they're going to see his true power and terror that he could cause. So you could spin it in a Netflix show. It doesn't have to be a 2-hour movie that people would be bored for the simple fact that it's the Hulk, and the Hulk really is more superior to most of his villains than anything else.
All right, now I have a question. We've all seen the Ultron trailer, right? The Avengers 2 Ultron trailer.
Yes.
Is the Hulk
Yes.
being controlled by Scarlet
Yes,
Witch?
we've all seen it.
There's a possibility.
I'm not going to say yes or no.
We don't have enough information.
We don't really know, but it looks like it.
Well,
I would have. I think we kind of knew that with the information that we had from the synopsis of the movie is that at the end of Captain America: The Winter Soldier, after during the post-credit scene, or like the mid-post-credit, the scene with Baron von Strucker and the twins, we get the idea that they are going to be villains in Age of Ultron, and I actually knew that. It's not a matter of if; it's a matter of a definite possibility. Is that they're going to be used against the Avengers, and they probably won't end up joining the Avengers until about after the movie's already halfway through.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying
agree
that.
with that.
That's actually a thing. I wasn't going to say that. I don't think it's going to happen halfway through the movie, but I totally believe that they are going to come over to the side of good eventually, because of the fact that Quicksilver and fucking Scarlet Witch eventually come over to the side of good. They are not good people, but they're in general they are not good people. But eventually they do realize that they can accomplish good things. So yeah, I totally agree that Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver will eventually become good.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
All right. Do we have anything else? Anything that relates to Agent Carter?
No, I don't have anything else. Overall, it was sort of a meh episode, but it had some good moments.
I have a question. I just thought of this. I literally just thought of this. We have there is a theory that in the Avengers movie, in the Avengers 2 trailer, there ends up being a pond or a water lake, small lake, whatever, that Thor comes bursting out of for whatever reason. And then we also see either a very effeminate man or a woman like undressing, and it looks like he or she is about to jump into it. I assume you both know you all know the watering hole of which I referred to in the preview.
No, I did see it, but when I saw that woman take off her clothes and she actually turned her head and looked behind and everything, for a second there, I actually thought that it was a female version of Ultron. I thought it was a feminine robot.
Ooh, I hadn't thought of that. But you did notice the water that he, she, whatever was about to jump into, right?
Yes, it was like a dark. The rocks were dark and black, and the reflection of the water made the water look black and everything, and it was very dimly light. Yeah, I did saw that.
There is a theory that within that water, you go far enough down, is going to be a little thing called a Tarragon crystal or Tarragon crystal or however it's fucking pronounced. Do any of you remember that from our discussions of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
It's the crystal that unlocks the powers of the Inhumans.
Very good. Charles, I owe you a cookie, but Isaiah owes me a cookie, so now instead he just owes you a cookie, okay?
Well, how about you both owe me a cookie and call it a day, because I want
No,
two.
because that means you get 2 cookies. You've only earned 1.
I want fucking 2 cookies. I want chocolate chip and peanut butter. That's what I want.
Fat bastard.
So the idea is in that lake or in that water hole or whatever you want to fucking call it, because it's a bitsy tiny. The idea is that maybe there's an Inhuman connection in that water hole. I don't remember where the connection came from, but apparently Wakanda has had a connection to the Inhumans in the past and has had those particular crystals in there in the past. And so there is that particular theory that maybe people are going in there to get powers. I totally forgot what my point was.
No, what you're saying is that that woman that was in that scene was maybe she was human, maybe not, but she was probably someone who would become an Inhuman. That maybe Age of Ultron and that scene alone would be used in order to introduce more Inhumans to the MCU.
Yes, that, and are we going to see any of that at all, including Max the Mad or whatever his fucking name is? Excuse me, sorry, hiccups. In Agent Carter, are we gonna see Sky's father in Agent Carter?
No.
Why not?
We might see her mother, but we're not going to see his father because I don't think her father was born yet. But
That's right. He's not Inhuman, is he?
no, he's not. He's human. But her mother, however, she would probably be alive. Would she be shown in Agent Carter? No, because the SSR has no reason to be looking for her.
They wouldn't have to be looking for her. They could just like come across
down
her.
the street.
There is that scene.
Not walking across the street, but I mean, they
Yeah,
could be like, "What the fuck? How is this person displaying these types of powers?"
Well,
and it happens to be some Asian chick.
It's just the scene where Reinhardt actually found out about Sky's mother and was about to experiment on her, and then he got arrested by the SSR. I think that happened before the events of Agent Carter. So that stuff had already happened. So no, we probably won't see Sky's mother. Not on screen.
Okay, for that to have happened before Agent Carter, that means that Agent Carter was still working with the Howling Commandos.
The war was still on. They were just doing cleanup of all the outlying Hydra bases. But at this point in Agent Carter, there is no mention of Hydra. It's like they're not even a threat anymore. They're gone. So that whatever happened.
Wait, at what point? At what point? When she picks up the scientist?
When she picks up Reinhardt, yeah, also known as Whitehall.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she that stuff happened before Agent Carter, because they're still over in Europe. They're still fighting remnants of Hydra, and now in the TV show Agent Carter, the miniseries, no mention of Hydra at all. It's like they're not a threat anymore. They've been defeated.
I'm gonna have to disagree because of the fact that if I remember that particular scene, there are mentions of Howard Stark and Howard Stark's technology. And while maybe they weren't called S.H.I.E.L.D. at the time, I'm pretty sure like it was like she was working with Howard Stark, which would have been after Reinhardt, or sorry, would have been after the war.
Okay, I don't know. I'm just saying that from what I got from those flashback scenes in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and then from what we got in Agent Carter, I think it all happened before Agent Carter. That's what I think.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else? Anything else that we can possibly drag out of this story and connect it to the MCU?
I got nothing.
No? Okay. See, we actually turned this into a pretty decent hangout.
Yeah.
It took some work.
Hydra.
Hail Leviathan. That just doesn't make sense. No, it doesn't work.
No.
All right. My name is Matt. Isaiah, tell us about stuff that you want to pimp. Your face is really digitized right now, and it's actually pretty amusing.
Yeah.
Mad Max.
Quick, somebody take a picture. Quick, somebody take a picture, because that's just going to be awesome.
Isaiah, say stuff about Isaiah's Zone.
Oh, man, I want to say something about Isaiah's Zone. Finally, it's about me and my opinions, and also join my community, which is the Zone, which is like a sister cousin to Geeks It Around.
All right, you know what? I'm tired of this shit. Lou, do you have anything to pimp? He had his chance. Everybody has to admit he had his chance.
We'll pimp that. We'll be back next week to discuss this show again with also the return of Flash and Arrow.
Yes,
the return of Flash and Arrow, and Deano's going to be running this hangout from that point on. Says Deano. Let's see if it actually happens.
Yes. And also be sure to check out my show, Geeks All Around Discusses Sleepy Hollow Season 2, Episode 12, if I'm not mistaken, where last week I was unavailable to host, so my friend here, Lou Rod, took care of it. So I'm coming back, bitches.
I forgot that was back next week.
Yeah.
I was going to say, so Lou Rod, how did you take to your hosting abilities for the first time? How did that work out for you?
It worked out great being surprised.
even though you kind of didn't really do anything for like the first 3 minutes of the hangout.
Hey,
No,
that was
no.
cut off.
That was classic.
Yeah, I don't cut that part off.
Oh,
Blue
I
Rods
was
are
like
like,
I was
that.
able to watch it unedited because I'm special like that.
No, you're
All
not. You're not.
check it out.
Hey, other than that, though, it's a great learning experience, and I can't wait to do it again.
Yes.
Oh,
Again, www.geeksaround.com, youtube.com/geeksaround. Check us out. Subscribe, like, all that other fun stuff. Tell your friends. I mean, seriously, it doesn't get any more geekier than this. And we have a lot of fun. If